Valiant, Amani, track. There goes your theme music right there.
What up? How y'all doing out there? It's the MC Amani Rain. Welcome back to Roti And Poutine. You are out here once again with the track, the Valiant, and a very special guest, Mr. V himself, the legend, fantastic author, talent recruiter, just bad man on the merch. Probably one of my favorite shirts out right now. I need to cop like 4 of them and pass them out to everybody I know. And yes, the one and only Mr. Jumpin' Jack Frost. What's goody, Bobby? Hey. First of all, we want to thank you for staying up super late and chilling with us. We was originally going to do it like we did and wake up in the morning and record, but you had things to do. So just so everybody knows, man, it's like wild late for JJ. So if you're in the chat right now, thank him because he didn't have to be here with us like this.
Yes, sir.
But he's here. He's chilling. He took a nap. I took a nap. We all good.
Thank you guys for having me, man.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm refreshed.
Yeah.
I'm hydrated. I'm ready to
hydrated. and everything.
Sick.
I've got my smoke on. I'm ready to go.
Perfect. Yeah, you know what? Ain't nothing like smoking at like 3 a.m, I believe.
I feel you, man.
You know.
Hey, speaking of,
Come on,
by the way,
man.
big up to Diligent Fingers, who's in the chat.
Dilly, what's up?
Right now.
Shout out everybody in the chat.
You two are staying up late tonight.
Yeah, man. Shout out Dilly in the chat. Shout out MJ once again moderating in the chat. Thank you, sir.
MJ.
Everybody in here.
Speedy recovery, homie.
Now, should I even shout everybody out? Can I shout everybody out? Do I have the time to shout everybody out? I don't think I do. But LA in the house, New York in the house, Atlanta is always in the house. East Coast, we got the UK in the house. What's goody? And so let's see. So how are we gonna start things off today?
Well, how is everybody doing first and foremost? Let's not be rude here. You know.
All right. I'm
gonna ask the man up top right here. Well, who's higher really, London or Buffalo? Not Buffalo, but Canada. Who's more north right now? Is it Valiant?
I don't know actually.
I think Frost is in a constant
I
state
taught geography for 4 years too. I should know this.
Holy smokes!
I do not know this. I'm not sure. I think we're probably on par. I mean, I'm not that much further than.
How about we
Buffalo,
we'll just start with Frost. Frost, how was your week
Frost,
so far?
Let's get to it.
I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Thank you.
I've watched the podcast a few times, and I'm looking forward to getting into it, man.
All right. Yeah, we ask everybody who does come on before we get into how our weeks were.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we gotta ask you.
The guy on each side is going to show in a second.
All right. See, it's a brotherhood, so that's what that's why we're here. So we got to do it, man. What's your bucket list food?
Oh, dude. Well, my favorite has got to be pepper pot. It's the guy. It's a tradition. We have that traditionally on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
always. I'm always bugging to have that whenever I can, bro.
God.
Yeah, you can't fuck with that shit.
Who's the best in the family at pulling that up?
Oh, it's always got to be moms, isn't it? You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Always got to be moms, man.
Shout out to moms.
It's an acquired taste, and you've got to kind of get all the ingredients right, and it's got to sit for the right time. And the next day, it's better than the day before.
Yep.
When you got that oil there, you just go back with your bread and just hit it up, boom.
Hell yeah.
Some of the best. Yeah, pepper pot is a really good.
Yeah, I haven't had pepper pot.
I like that.
I haven't had that in a while too. We had some oxtail the other day. My sister made some oxtail last Sunday. Yeah, she's pretty sick with it. As a matter of fact.
I want to know what it's like to have a mom that can cook though, because my mom is not.
Don't you dare!
Don't
you dare disrespect Miss Valiant MC.
She used to boil the broccoli until it was gray.
Oh God!
I don't even know what that means. How do you do that?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Oh man.
Yeah, Frost, you ever had gray broccoli, my G?
Oh, dude, I don't fuck with that shit.
You don't eat broccoli at all?
Yeah, I eat that, but not
I was just talking about. I was like, what kind of gangster? I don't eat broccoli, son. That shit ain't me. All right. So I had the oxtail. Valiant, you had gray broccoli. Track with
Man, I didn't have grill, man. I had some like I don't even know what it's called now, bro. But it came with like some. Shouts to Cat Illis, my girlfriend. I'm telling you, her lamb ain't to be messed with though.
Okay.
If it's a proper marination that I dare not ask what are the secrets, but I don't even like lamb. And when she does lamb, I'm the first at the table every time. So that's what we had today, and that's what I decided to tear apart along with some salad and whatever. But yeah, simple Thursdays, man.
I feel you.
Simple Thursdays. Yeah, you know.
I've got to get the roti recipe from my grandmother, man. My mom always makes the best roti, and like, you know, there's a couple people in the family.
Business.
Yeah, there's a couple
to think
people
that I used to see this all the time.
Yeah. Not because you were some hood rat chick. It was this is the original crap. You know what I'm saying? Cool, man.
Folks.
Hey, let me get these out the way because I want to speak seriously, and I don't want to wait, and I want to honor a few people real quick. First of all, rest in peace to Malik B. He was the legendary founder of the Roots. He passed away yesterday, and a very sad day for the city of Philadelphia. I also want to give a special shout out to the city of Atlanta and say rest in peace to Daniel Scarr, who is an absolute legend and cornerstone here in the Atlanta scene. I know my heart goes out to a lot of people in Atlanta right now, and anybody that offsprings from that. It's some legendary shit. I didn't know him as well as everybody else, but I do know what he meant to everyone in the scene, so I do want to show my respect and give my condolences out to everybody. So massive love to all of you. I appreciate everyone that's here, and like, let's just keep pushing. You feel me? So big love to that. Yeah. All right.
So here we are, guys, in the room.
Getting back to food, I believe that Ramen Pop-Up might have like 5 orders left. So if you had that website last week, the menu has changed. I did not pull it up, so that's my bad. But if you want to check it out, you remember it from last week, hit that website up again if you're here in Atlanta and want to get some ramen.
Now, and salute to the dude for selling out last week as well. Was that?
So he's doing it every week, yeah?
Yeah, he's been doing it every week. He switches it up. Right. Yeah. I actually had it, and then I was on a Zoom call and made everybody extremely upset with me that I was, because normally I'm on there eating some cup of noodles or some bullshit. So I was like, I got this ramen. And they were like, oh, and then I showed them the bowl, and I got cussed out for 10 minutes.
It's like real ramen.
Real ramen, pretty much.
Egg and the whole nine, you know what I mean? So Frost,
University ramen.
How many years now, man? V.
Whoa. We started the label in like 1992, man.
92. I thought it was 93, so that's actually one more.
Started in 1992. Myself and Bryan. And
shout out Bryan G.
Shout out to my man Bryan.
Big brother.
It's been a hell of a ride, man. It's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, man.
What made you guys decide to like try to start up a label? What was your thinking behind that? I know. First of all, go back a little bit further. When did you guys meet each other? And how did your musical partnership culminate in like a record label?
Yeah, we met in like 1986, something like that. You know what I'm saying? We met in like 1986, and I remember I met Bryan first. He was selling weed. You know what I mean? He was selling weed. And, I went out to his house. Do you know what I mean? But then I used to be a stick-up kid then, man. Do you know what I mean?
Running the streets.
When he saw me coming, he was like, "Oh shit." I don't want these guys around here, man. Because he knew if he saw me and my boys, something was about to go down. But I only wanted some weed, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the first time I met him. Then I met him again. He was in like a bar playing music, do you know what I mean? And I was, at that time, I just robbed like a fucking van full of watches. I had about 500 watches. And I was trying to sell these watches. So I went in the bar, I was like, yo, you gonna buy a watch? And he's like, yeah. Wait till I finish playing my set and I'll tell you, and I'll buy a watch. And I was just sitting there listening to him play music. I was like, wow, this guy could play some tunes. But I had music as well. So I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, yo, you're playing the same kind of music that I like. And we kind of start talking. And he was like, you should come down to the pirate radio, because he was doing the pirate radio thing. And then that's how we met. And then from then, boom, we just kicked on. You know what I mean?
Man.
So what kind of tunes was Bryan playing in '86?
This is like funk. We was playing like hip hop, funk.
All right.
Like, you know, because we came up on reggae and soul and party music. So that's what we was both into. Do you know what I'm saying? And then like, you know, as you know, like a couple of years later, the acid house scene exploded in like 1988.
Right.
And then we just kind of went into it from there. And we just been together. We've been inseparable ever since, man.
Before you go too far, I want to ask, what exactly was new wave? What was considered new wave? Was that like an early techno ordeal kind of genre, or?
Dude, I don't even know what the fuck that is, man.
New wave was new wave was like a bunch
of names that people just throwing stuff. I don't know what the fuck that is, man.
New wave is a post punk thing. It was like a mix of post punk and like some pop and some funk. Like
That's like Spandau Ballet and that shit. Spandau Ballet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if you go back to like real new wave, like I mean, you're getting into stuff like Devo and like Talking Heads and stuff like that. Yeah. And then it started getting popified. But yeah, it wasn't like disco. It was. Yeah,
I know. Now you're saying that I know what it is, but I just don't fuck with that.
You know it when you see it. That's what it is.
We don't fuck with that shit. We don't fuck with that shit.
Put in names like on some things.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like that's America's second British invasion, and that was like something we started picking up on in the 80s ish somewhere, and that's. You know, we saw all these huge rock bands come through. The European cats as well, and it all just seemed to be in one thing. But then it was something that was like right after that called new wave, and I was like, so what exactly? I didn't know where it was or how. Maybe it was just a new name, a new term to just.
Yeah, it sounds like just a name, something that just. They put it in a fucking box to sell it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the pop music conversation and shit. It's just like, how do we take this thing and then make it popular?
Yeah, that's it, man. But I did love Talking Heads though. They were dope as fuck.
For that.
MJ in the chat just said that new wave is white people music.
Hey,
big up MJ. My man MJ. Big up MJ, man. MJ's my guy. MJ's
not too far off.
MJ's white. He's allowed to say things like that.
MJ's my guy.
MJ out here holding it down.
I mean, technically white. He's, MJ.
All right, so anyway, fast forward a little bit to when you guys formed the label. Like, how'd that come?
What was the dream?
At the time, Bryan used to work at a company called Rhythm King, which is mute, and they put out. It's like a big label. They used to put out stuff like Depeche Mode and a lot of techno kind of stuff, and I remember they just released Moby, for the first time.
Moby, shouts to Moby.
They just released Moby, and I think at the time they were just about to go under. You know what I mean? And then there was like a load of fucking demos there, and Bryan they made him redundant. So when he left, he took his demos. Do you know what I mean? And there was one demo from some guys called Ronnie Size and Crust. Ooh. And Bryan called me around. He's like,
I think I've heard of them.
Yeah. Bryan's like, have you listened to this? What do you think, man? You know what I mean? And I thought, yeah. And he was like, I'm going to go and see them. Like, we should start a label. Do you know what I mean? Because by that time, he kind of known already the mechanics of running a record label, which I kind of knew a little bit as well. But he was around it on a day-to-day basis where I was still kind of kicking it on the streets as well. I was like half hoarding, half music. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we started, man. And we put the first release out, and then it just it's something. You just get into it. It's like you just get into this routine, and it just consumes you, man. Do you know what I mean? Especially at that time, it was very physical. The records, printing the actual vinyl and stuff.
Right.
It's not like now you just send a fucking MP3. You know what I mean? It's the game's changed. Do you know what I mean?
A little bit.
It was good. It kept me on the right path in life as well, because I was still getting into some good shit. Do you know what I mean? But less and less and less and less. When I met Bryan, the street life became less and less and less, because before I was like in it deep. So the record label, starting the label was really good. Do you know what I mean? But by that time, I was a really popular DJ. I was playing at parties like everywhere. Do you know what I'm saying? So Bryan was more like the record side of stuff, and I was more DJing. Do you know what I mean? It was a good match. It was a good combination. You know what I mean? So that's how we started.
Literally Batman and Robin through that whole situation.
I want to say, by the way, big up to people like Lady MC, who's been running her nonprofit for a long time, and keeping kids kind of out of the street life, doing music, and in the in the United States, we have seen. Look, one of the reasons that hip hop even emerged the way it did is because they cut off funding for music classes at schools in the inner cities.
We had no instruments.
There's no instruments, so you had to make something from nothing. Okay, and so a lot of these kids who end up on the wrong side of life end up there because they don't have other things that could be fruitful for them, and music is one of those things that helps keep them that way. So to all those people out there that are doing things like Lady MC is doing, all those teachers out there, all those music teachers, my most influential teacher to this day, and I still think of shit that she taught me every single day, Miss Appleby. All those people, man, I gotta say big up to them because they literally save lives, literally. So anyway,
that's true.
Salute.
Big salute, man.
She does a lot of good work here, man. She gives her time. She gives more than her time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She does a lot of good work. I mean, a lot of good work.
She's a shining moment. She's a shining moment behind the scenes for sure.
Absolutely. Salute. It's always good too when you have people who've been in the thick of it too, man. Because you know what I'm saying, it's different when people just start things, but when it comes organically because you've been out there and you know what it is, man. You feel that. Everyone feels that, whether you've been in it or not, man. I know you're one of those people who are like that, man. You're a family man as well. You got family here in Atlanta. You've always, you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With some people you haven't met in a while. Right?
Yeah, bro. I gotta say,
because
go ahead.
Some of my family there. As you know, when I was there, I'd met for the very first time. Some of them I knew before, but some of them I met for the very first time when I was there in Atlanta, and they all came to the party with me, which was cool. You know what I'm saying? And I got some friends there. On a big up, Robert Nichols is like my childhood friend. We went to school here in London together. You know what I mean? And it was good to see him after all these years when I went to ATL. With his wife and his beautiful family, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm going to big up Robert and his family because I know that he's watching and listening to right now.
Salute, Robert. ATL in the building was goody. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, what was that? That night was Elevate. Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Elevate crew. Johnny, Amanda was goody. You came right about the time we really started pouring gas around here, man. And like that night. All right, let me tell you the truth, all right? Because you don't know this. They asked me a bunch of times to get on the mic. They were like, yo, you going to get on the mic? And I was like, I've never been on the mic with Frost. I don't just hop on people's sets for no reason. You know what I'm saying? If we speak to him and we want to get, and he says it's cool, right? So this is what happened, right? So me and MJ go out to the club wild early, like way before you got there. And MJ's like, yo, eat this edible. And I'm like, I don't like to eat edibles and go out. And he was like, yo, just do it. You'll be fine. Everything's cool. I'm like, I'm not a bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. I just want to go listen to the music and be straight. And he's like, it's this little thing, right? Famous last words. So when I went there, I was completely zoned out on the side, and so
because you was on one side, you hardly moved.
People came.
How you saying this shit? It's all making sense now, B.
Oh no!
I haven't had a chance to explain this to you yet because I know you was like, "Yo, why you ain't going there speaking?"
Yeah, I thought you were gonna come and bless. I was like, "Yo, my dog's in the place. I'm sure he's gonna come and give it a little blessing."
Yo, so here's the thing: is I'm over there like crazy elevated, right? Like beyond belief, and enjoying the moment because I hadn't heard a set like that from anyone in such a long time. You started, I'll tell you, I could probably name every track you played. That's how in tune I was. You started with that It's Bigger Than Hip Hop remix and just didn't let up from that point. And there was a point in time where I was like, I can totally go up there right now and we would crush this place. But there was a part of me as a fan that was like so appreciative of just sitting there in that moment, listening to you completely body that place. Like it was probably, you can ask many people that are in the chat right now, they're probably all laughing at me. but like, it's funny because like I had at least 7 people walk up to me like, yo, you all right? And I was like, bro, I'm just happy. Like I'm just in the moment chilling and you bro, like the hip hop you infuse with everything, you can feel your roots in every set that you do. And in that moment in Atlanta, like I really felt that, and I wanted you to know that's one why I didn't get on the mic, and 2, thank you for one of the best sets I've heard in a while.
Thank you, bro.
Man, that's what's up. I mean,
but it was funny because I saw you looking at me like, what's the? I'm like,
So Frost, what did you think of Atlanta? I mean, this feels like new grounds even for us here in the States that we have.
It's beautiful because obviously I got to spend a few days there.
Yeah.
Before the set, you know what I mean? I was staying at some cousins' houses, and then I went to my other cousin's house, and we went down to Martin Luther King's museum.
Right. Okay.
I remember that.
Went to his birth home. I got to go around, ate some good food and stuff, and just enjoying the city, the vibe of the city. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's my first time playing there. It's the first time I've ever been there. So I just got blessed to be able to see my family and play some music in such a cool city at the same time. Do you know what I mean? And get in contact, and you know what I mean, get into contact with the roots and some of the history of the town, which was beautiful. Do you know what I'm saying?
A bit of culture shock going on, pretty much.
Beautiful.
Big time.
Yeah, I mean, you had your whole family out. You could tell, like, they had never been, like, they were up to me, like, this is crazy. I'm like, the dawn.
Because like my cousins are like, oh, so what kind of music do you play? I'm like, well, you know, they're like, we're gonna come over there. And like a couple of my cousins were wearing high heels and shit. I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, it's not really that kind of thing. I'm saying.
I do it all the time. I try to tell people, they're like, yo, I'm like, why don't you come see me play? You know, I'm going to make a joke about that because it's funny. As long as you've been doing this, 25 years now, and you got family members who've never heard you play before, and they don't know what to expect. And I always have that joke of like, yeah, come on out. And they're like, should I dress up? I'm like, nah, it's not. Like, you good. Don't worry about it. Just come out in your sneakers. You be straight. And they all, like, you know, as bad as you crushed it, too, for that to be the first time they've ever seen you, that had to be crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Do you know what I mean? They was all dancing in the end. They was all dancing and shit.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? But the first initial reaction was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, what was they saying after the party, though? Was it, yo, what is that?
It was cool as fuck because, you know, sometimes we was out on the wall together smoking and they're like, hey, I really like this, man.
Right.
And she's like, oh, I shouldn't have wore these shoes. I said, I told your ass.
Again, man, for me, even coming down there and going to Atlanta, it just is like, yo, I'm like, you're like overexcited because number one, drum and bass is in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And just the fact that it's there and the potential of it and how easy it can grow out there is, so we need like people like Frost to be out there smashing culture all over the place so they can understand what the real deal is. So a big salute again. You know, I got my Team Frost cap on, so I got to represent. Of course.
Yeah.
You know, Team Frost in the building.
You have the greatest. Do you have more of those shirts? You know.
Oh, these ones?
No. I want that one too. Don't get it twisted.
You talking about the Team Frost shirts?
You know what shirt I'm talking about. Frost, Frost made the best T-shirt I've ever seen in my life, and it says, dear racist, I'm not my grandpa. My grandparents signed these hands. And I was like, it's the greatest shirt I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that shirt's fucking killer.
I'll get one. I'm gonna get one out to you, B.
Yeah, I'll
get one out.
Don't forget your boy either. Don't forget your boy.
Don't worry, man. I'm gonna hook you all up. I'm gonna hook up all you guys. Yeah, man.
Man, this shirt's fire.
I had a brainwave. I was like, boom. Track knows me, man. I have these brainwaves. I'm moving quick with it. Boom.
Yeah, man.
I'm moving quick with my shit.
Yeah, man. So
go ahead. Whoever was going to say something.
I'll have a sip of my beer. You go ahead.
Me sips. Well, you know, 25 years, 26 years, 27 years somewhere right now, probably, right? You know, any favorite golden years for you as far as V is concerned?
There's special moments in a lot of different years, like doing our first ever night at Twilight in New York City. It's a pretty special thing.
Just took it back there a little bit.
That was a good time, yeah.
we done a monthly there for like nearly 2 years. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
And a legendary venue like that, I think we were the first ones to start bringing cats over from the UK. And it was just a beautiful thing, man. We had like Goldie there, Groove Rider,
It was from what I heard, it was stacked all the time. Stacked the Twilight. Everybody talks about Twilight here.
Ronnie Cross died. And, you know what I mean. We had that was big. We done a big show at the Biltmore Ballroom. You know what I mean?
Biltmore Ballroom. Wow.
Yeah, we done a big show there. What's the name of that place? Is it BYO something like that? What's the name of the place?
In New York here?
Yeah.
OBBY?
Oh, I can't
Bowery?
remember. We've done a bunch of venues there.
Yeah, it's not even, Yeah,
we've done a bunch of venues there. And I remember the first time Dick playing in New York, staying at the Chelsea Hotel, which was like not great.
Yeah.
Ending up staying at the Standard and the Plaza and stuff. So you go up like that, you know. Your worth goes up. You know what I'm saying? And it was we built it. Boom, 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 boom. Because our first tours in America were like really small. You know what I mean? Right. This is before the whole represent thing. It was just me, Bryan, going out there with Moose. Do you know what I mean?
Moose.
Yeah. By the time we finished up, we were like, you know, doing headline stuff and doing Twilight and stuff like that. So that was cool. Also, I think that when Ronnie won the Mercury Prize, everything is exploded. Do you know what I mean? They were good years. Do you know what I mean? There's always been good stuff in every year.
Yeah.
That's the most memorable for me personally.
I think, man, my memory is failing me, but I think that might have been the first time I saw you. It was in Toronto, and I think you were with, I think it was Darren J and Andy C. And
Darren J. Shouts to Darren J.
It was at the Masonic Temple there. And the only reason I remember that show is because I just thought that GQ's outfit was funny because it was just Red Hill figure head to toe. Head to toe.
I don't think GQ
though. And they were shooting a video that night too for a Sniper Mystical tune for Dub Play Pressure. But that show, I want to say that you played that, but I can't remember positively. My memory is like garbage now.
If I was there, I played.
Hey, pretty much. Hopefully.
Pretty sure it was you three though.
I got no business there. Even if I got no business there if I'm not playing. None.
You out the other game. There was no point being in T otherwise.
I got no business there.
You know what's dope, man? It's like the fact that you've been around for so long. You were also one of the first people to change over with this COVID thing, man. You went deep in with your live streaming like immediately. You know what I mean? You kind of set the bar for a lot of people. I was like, yo, got the whole room set up looking fresh. So I was like, okay.
Boom. First out the gate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Those were dope.
Yeah, man.
It was a moment in time, man. Yeah. And now we have like pretty much a streaming community going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people are still. I'm sure England, London is a little bit better than us right now. Of course, not to say it in such a way, but I'm sure that the streaming and the people are now going to the streams to check out what's going on the weekend and checking out everybody. Make sure the only person I haven't seen stream yet really is Caliber. I'd love to see him stream.
Caliber doesn't do anything that isn't totally mysterious. He's not on social media. He doesn't stream.
This
is fucking Jack, except for churn out hits.
You bringing Frost TV back? The chat over here is
I want to bring it back, but I just when you do that series 1, you know what I'm saying? Give it a break, come back with series 2. I done one, and I just leave it a little bit. I think I'm gonna leave it a little bit longer, and then do another, and then do and then come back again. You know what I mean? Because I was doing it like every Sunday and stuff. It takes a lot of effort to do it because we've got like about 6 different cameras. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but like, he literally set the bar for a lot of people. To me, you know what I mean? I was watching it like, because I wanted to. Back when they first started doing it, that's when we first jumped on. And everybody was like, all right, everybody get your Elgatos, and we're gonna do this, and then we'll set up the DJ sets. And then I watched Frost, and I was like, all right, let me step back.
Frost came with props.
Let me back up.
What was the first one? Was the first one you and Tola?
No. That was
the first?
No, that was late. That was you caught it late.
Okay, I missed it. I gotta catch up. Whoa,
get on game.
I gotta set my notifications on right now.
By the time I done one with Tola, I'd commissioned the nightclub, and they let you stream from the nightclub.
Right. Oh, you did like, fabric, right?
We had like balloons and stuff everywhere. Yeah, I had like I had like the visuals, the V visuals, guys in the background, and this is I had like a massive venue. It's like a concert venue.
What was that, fabric?
Nah.
What was you doing in fabric? Am I switching topics? Am I loud? You think I don't be paying attention? I'll be paying attention.
Yeah, we all see the footage. We all see
you be out there throwing little breadcrumbs.
I'll say what it is. Clips is releasing the album.
All right.
Okay.
Wait.
And I've done the DJ mix for it.
Right.
But they wanted. I've done the DJ mix for it, but they wanted to film it. So I had to go and cut dub plates because it had to be on dub plates. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
So we done the first day of filming at the cutting house. Do you know what I mean? We went back to Music House, the original cutting house, cut the plates there, and then they filmed me the next day doing the DJ mix at Fabric. So they hired Fabric for the whole day, and I just played there with just me and the camera crew.
Right.
And they filmed the whole thing. So that's what that's all about.
That's coming up pretty much.
That's coming up real soon.
We got the inside scoop. I love that one.
Oh
yeah. I like that. I like this
story.
story.
Frost is like me. Frost will throw them like little sneaky things in the story, think nobody paying attention, and keep it moving. It's like
you was on it. Boom.
Yeah, I was like, hey, what's going on over there? I ain't even gonna get into more of what was so interesting about said photo because I feel like that part you ain't gonna be able to tell us.
Yeah, we can't. I mean, so whatever
I'm gonna let you slide with that one.
Oh no. Hey, not to take it back, right? But of course, one of my most favorite records on the label is Big Bad and Heavy.
Woo!
Just curious about the whole creation of the record itself, what brought it along, and what was, just a little bit about the construction of it.
Well, I'm not really like a big producer. I make a record every now and again, and whenever I'm seen to make a record, it seems to kind of do well for some reason. Do you know what I mean?
You're not mad.
So this I basically I was always at Dillinger's house.
Dillinger.
Yeah, I was always with Dillinger because Dillinger used to live up the road from me, man.
Mm-hmm.
So we were sitting. These times there, we made the record in his bedroom. Yeah. This is when he was still living at his mum's house when he was still a kid. So I'm sitting on his bed, and we're just sitting there. But I took a couple of records, some of my favorite records up there, and we just sampled them. We just played around with a bunch of stuff, and then somehow, some of the best records make themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Some of the best records just make themselves. You just there, and it just comes alive in front of your eyes. And that's how that record was made. We done the whole thing in like 5 hours.
Sheesh.
Which is mad quick.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
That means the vibes was perfect and the dream was correct.
We done the whole thing in like 5 hours.
People sitting on tunes from 5 years ago right now.
There you go.
Shit. I'm sitting on tunes from 5 years ago.
It's just taking 5 months right now to do a tune, goddamn. Yeah.
5 hours. You know what I mean? Crazy.
5 hours for like pretty much, till now.
So yeah, bro, it's still popping, man. You know what I mean?
5 hours made a classic and inspired a book.
Yeah.
Yes. You're lucky I ain't go downstairs. I'd show you the poster on the wall with the book next to it. I was gonna pose on it like this. Look, see, I'm representing right now.
You wanna talk about here? Let me.
What you got to say there, Monty? What you got there, bro?
I think he's trying to bring up something.
Oh, he's trying to bring up something?
Keep talking.
Oh, okay.
Tell me about the book.
See, exactly. He's doing something technical related.
So what inspired you to do the book? I guess is what Monty wants to
basically what I was trying to get at. I apologize.
What inspired you to do to write a book? Was it the years you had?
No, I had the opportunity. Someone that said to me, "Yo, someone that said to me, now what it was, my good friend Billy Bunter, right? Billy Bunter's like a legend here, man. Like he does hardcore and stuff. He's been in the business as long as me. Maybe not as long, but a few years short of the time I've been in the business. And Billy's very quick off the mark with stuff. He released his own book. Do you know what I mean? He released his own book, which was cool. And then he was like, "Yo, I reckon that you'd be good at doing a book." And I was like, "I don't know." You know what I mean? At first, I wasn't really with it. But then, he kind of twisted my arm a little bit.
Okay.
And every day, I was sat on the phone for 2 hours. With a guy just taking down notes about my life. And yeah, at first I was like, how the fuck's this gonna work? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But then I just sat there 2 hours, and then the guy just said, he sent me the draft because I got the draft of the first chapter. And I was like, oh, when I read it, I was like, whoa. When you see the physical thing in front of you,
right.
You know what I mean? You get more into it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, it took up about 6 months of my life.
I was going to say, how long did it take to write?
Yeah, it took about 6 months.
6 months.
Talking to him every day. And it consumes you, man. You just get so into it. And there's a lot of painful parts in it that I had to revisit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I also found it very therapeutic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's about the act.
Spoke about the good times, the bad times, the times when I was in fucking rehab, other things that wasn't so good in my life. Do you know what I mean? Before I turned everything around. Mm-hmm. But you have to address these things. And if you're gonna write a book, you've got to be true and you've got to be honest.
Right.
With warts and all. Otherwise.
When you're writing a book though, like did you like have a criteria for like what you wouldn't put in? Like, because I'm sure the temptation is there to tell fucking everything, and you've got to whittle it down. So was there like a process that you went through to like figure out, okay, what am I not going to put in?
I think that I didn't want to talk about homicides and stuff like that. I'm joking.
Now who's getting
obviously. I told as honest an account as I could without incriminating other people into things that you know what I mean, that they was involved with me, and incriminating myself in things that wasn't very nice. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But there's enough in there for you to get the picture.
You get the picture. Yeah, I got
everything. I was as honest as I could be about. I was honest about the good and the bad. Some of the stuff was really bad, and it was really, really hard to revisit because, sometimes you're a different person now. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Some of the stuff was really difficult to revisit and go back over, but I had to do it. Do you know what I mean? So, answer to the question there wasn't much of a barrier of what I wouldn't say without incriminating people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Indeed. It's funny. I've been asked if I'm ever going to write a book, and I've now that I've spoken to you, and I've spoken to 2 other people who've written books as well, and that is the first thing they say. It's like, hey man, someone sits with you every day, and the more and more you talk and start to let it out, the more and more you start to recall things that you didn't even think you remembered. Like, it just drags things out of you, and you start to be so open and honest that you let all of those things out and have to edit afterwards. Because, you're not going to even get to some things unless you speak about whatever, you know what I mean? So it's an interesting transition. That's
exactly that. You have to be as honest, and you have to be ready to be honest. You have to be ready to laugh at yourself sometimes as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But honesty is very important to get the real feel of the story over. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's very therapeutic. It's like, going over it again, it's like the book is almost like sitting in therapy, when I finished it and I shut it, because I'll tell you something, after I proofread it, I've never read it again or nothing like that. I just put it over there.
Really?
It was difficult to proofread it.
To look back at it, so to speak.
See some of the things I've done to hurt myself, hurt other people, and I just thought, look, that chapters of my life is done now. Do you know what I mean? And when people come up to me and people are like, yo, I read that thing, sometimes I don't even know what they're talking about because I forget, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I try to be as honest as I can with it, man.
There are also moments in there, of course, I guess the from what I got from the book, the story you wanted to say pretty much is, sometimes things get tough, but you know what, man, just pick your head up, put yourself out there, and let the consistency flow to see what happens in the future. It doesn't, so it's not necessarily a happily ever after book, but it's saying I'm still shining.
Yeah. So and you know what I want to say. What the most satisfying thing that I got from the book is the amount of messages I got from people just saying to me, "Thank you so much for being so honest.
Absolutely,
you really helped me. I was going through some stuff, and I could identify with what you went through and some of the things you were saying. And if you're here now on the other side of that shit, that's inspiring me. So I think that's the most satisfactory thing for me that I got from that whole process of being able to help people and people be able to identify with me and my journey. You know, I was very proud of that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
At the time, I was like, oh shit, why am I being so honest? Do you know what I mean? But that honest stuff is the stuff that has helped people get through stuff, and I'm really proud of that, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, as you should be, man.
So jumping around just a little bit, because I just thought of it. I wanted to ask you, and I had forgotten I wanted to ask you. The logo for V, who came up with that?
Yeah, what's the idea behind the sun?
Yeah. Woo! I mean, you guys have arguably one of the most iconic labels.
The most iconic.
Period.
Probably
and I know at least
iconic.
4 or 5 people have got a V tattoo. Right. So
absolutely, 4 or 5.
I'll tell you the story.
Documentary worthy.
You're gonna believe this shit. I'll tell you the story. When I first done Big Bad and Heavy records, yeah, I was like on the run from the police for.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
allegedly.
I was on the run for possession of firearms, and so they caught up with me, and I had to go to prison for a while. So while we was just about to put the record out, I was on the phone to Bryan, describing how I want the logo, right?
Right.
For the Leviticus, yeah. So I'm kind of giving an interpretation on the phone, and he kind of sat down with the artwork guy and came up with this.
How close to it was it?
Well, I was just describing this because I just said, listen, I want like a sun. I want a sun, but I want it to be a black face, yeah?
Right.
And you know, it was crazy because I described it to him and somehow he came up with this, yeah? And this was originally just for Leviticus, yeah? And we liked it so much, we decided to use it as a logo for the label.
Did you go?
The first records were just a V. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And then this became the logo for the whole record label because, you know, and it was just by me talking on a prison phone to Bryan and describing how I wanted it and him coming up with this. So that's the story, man.
That's a good fucking story.
Because that's got to be like kind of a trip seeing the logo for like your record label on so many people. I think probably I would argue that it's probably you and metalheads that have more logo tattoos on people than like any other record label.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think they're both really cool logos. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they're so classic, and I see all these other labels trying to come up with logos, and it's just not there.
I see something from Golden Child here. He wants to just follow up real quick. He says, why the letter V for victory?
Oh, that is a good question. There you go. Golden Child.
Golden Child, just come on the show, man. Screw
it. V has always been like whatever you want it to be. You know what I mean? There is no specific. Nah, it's just V. It means something different to everyone else. To everyone, it might mean something different. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's it.
And then I did that whole little dub that nobody's heard, but we'll talk about that a whole nother time. You know, we'll talk about that another time.
Wait. Man, we just passing secrets around like a motherfucker. What's happening?
In broad daylight almost.
I know, it's weird. Anyway.
Cool. Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah.
Hiding in plain sight. Play
That's how you do. All in my white tee. So, you working on something right now?
Yeah, I'm working on an album at the moment, which is I'm working on an album at the moment, which is taking up. The process is way harder than I thought it would be. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm working with some incredible artists. Track is on there, and I'm gonna get you on there too, Armani. Do you know what I mean?
And, Track stuff.
Yeah. Track's on there. I got Track's tune with Lorna. It's kind of half finished. We just got to go back over it.
Go back,
tied up a few things. You know what I mean? I got like Omar, the legendary R&B singer Omar, on the album. I got Tipper Irie, Carol Thompson, Shauna Scoffery, Terry Walker, Natalie from Flower Tree. It's gonna be like an album.
Some light. No,
this is the
no
granding.
Yeah.
This is the grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The album is called Legacy. It's not good. It's not going to be all drum and bass. It's like a backdrop story to my life. This kind of music that influenced me. So you're gonna have reggae. You're gonna have like a bunch of different kind of things on there. So yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment, man.
What's this thing you sent me earlier?
Well, that's Miss Jones. That's like the track. That's like the track that's ready.
Oh, Miss Jones with Lorna.
Yeah.
That's a fire tune.
Yeah,
that's a fire tune.
That's like.
I want. Let's give the world.
That's from the album.
That's for the album.
Straight. That's what's up.
So basically I give the chat right now a special treat and they get to hear it. This is the reason why this is why you gotta watch live, because once we move all these things to YouTube, they gone. So don't say we didn't warn you, you know what I'm saying?
Let's pop it off.
We've been doing exclusive. So here's a drill so everybody knows, and I'll edit this shit out later too. If you want to hear it, you'll have to mute your screen and go to twitch.tv/Armani Rain. I did forget to tell you that in pre-production. So that's
talking about talking about Frost. Okay.
Yeah, talking about Frost. If you want to
hear, just talk over it. I don't care now.
We can do that too. But we can talk over it for sure. I'm just saying he won't be able to hear it once I hit play. Is all I'm saying. But the rest of the chat was goody. This is exclusive. What's it called?
Mrs. Jones.
Mrs. Jones by Jumpin' Jack Frost. Check it out.
A few moments later.
We turn down.
Shouts to Iso Tariq, man. Lovely to see that U Street Music Hall is fighting a good fight to keep open. That's one of the most, I don't even know what to call it. It's one of the most premier and most legendary spots in DC when it comes to underground music and everything. And I know they're having some hard times, but I feel like they'll be around, and I hope they'll be around. Let's just hope we get through this. You know, it's a really, really good spot. And love to all DC heads as well.
Yeah, big shout out to Washington DC heads, man.
Yeah, man, for real.
Shout, man. I love that place.
Yeah, man, it spawned a lot of great people, man.
Yeah, man. I used to play at a club there years ago called the Buzz, which was crazy. Like, it was right in the White House. It's
like,
you go outside, there's all crazy people walking around like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? The police raided it. I see it on the fucking TV and shit. There was a big raid. They raided it and shut it down, man.
It's done.
Yeah, man.
Done.
I miss Buzz. Buzz is amazing.
That was a good spot. That was a good spot back in the day.
Sharpie and I did a crazy goodbye video for that they ended up playing on the big screen during the last night there. So that place was special to us, man. It did a lot of great things for a lot of great people. So shout out to everyone who was a part of that scene back in the day, man.
Yeah, man.
DC was crazy. Man, it was a good thing about Philly, man. We drive up to New York, 2 hours, 2 hours to Baltimore, 4 hours to DC. It wasn't that bad.
Hey, so speaking of that, what is your love for the States, Frost? What do you think about us and our?
Oh man, I got a great relationship with the American drum and bass scene.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've been lucky enough to have played the whole country, played in some great places, met some wonderful people, and I've just been lucky enough to watch it grow. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
From inception, all the way to now. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm really grateful to everyone there who's been a part of my journey over there with myself and the label and Bryan and all of us. Do you know what I'm saying? But I love it. I got a very special relationship with America, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's important for people to hear that, especially as much as we beat each other up over here. And we always want to know let's be honest.
What would make you say that?
Tough. We are tough on ourselves sometimes. And you want to know when these guys, when the UK heads come through, is everything good? Is everything smooth? And honestly, we all beating ourselves up so we can have these great nights, so we can have these great moments. Yeah, we're not talking about the small stuff. We're talking about the big thing where we're trying to achieve like a culture boom, like a straight up great night in general. So like, to hear, there might be a few that may not necessarily be on some like, it's all right, but it's important when you hear from the people who matter. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say big up. I'm thankful that Frost spoke on it so people in the States can calm down. Let's get back to business. Let's keep pushing and keep it flowing and fluent. And trust me, we good. We good. We got this, y'all. We got it.
Old to the new. And new to the old, man.
You know what I mean? And I have to say, man, since we're here right now, when I played at 512, I wanted to share this with you real quick. My first time ever rocking in London, and it's in a nice hot box, so to speak. You know what I mean? And the speakers is super loud. It's grungy. It just feels, man. It felt mad hood. And I say that simply because I remember at some point when Elside was on and I was about to come on, the vibe that was in there let me know that I belong. I liked where I'm at, and I'm happy that I'm a part of this whole situation. And I think me and you hung out till like damn near 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I come put a jacket on you and shit. Yeah. I was like, put this on, homie.
Yeah, you threw that jacket on me. And we shot up. We ain't gonna talk about that, but yeah, we had a lot of fun in there.
Redacted to the motherfucker
with it, right? I gotta let me be smooth with it. But I just wanted to say, you and Bryan, thank you for having me experience this. And then, of course, the big stage, which is on YouTube forever. I'm forever grateful for you two guys for putting me on there and trying my best. A nervous, one-legged MC. Had people screaming at a level that I couldn't believe. Then a little behind the scenes that you probably didn't know. I almost fainted afterwards.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I almost fainted.
What, at the steel yard?
At the steel yard. I did that, and then I went over to the other room to rock with Alibi, and then I went outside because I said something's wrong. So I went out to the front. And just to see if I could get some air, and I was pulling and nothing was coming. And I was like, oh, so what did I do? I went back inside and I went to the VIP like an idiot. But when I sat down, I just happened to be under a AC vent.
Yeah.
So my nerves was super shot that day. You know what I'm saying? I needed to sit down and
that was a lot, man.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, and I didn't realize it until the end, which is crazy, which means, it was absolutely love central in there. And especially from the crowd and the people who were always, you guys, Track, I'm happy you teamed up with Frost and Bryan, and he's on the desk, it's going crazy.
Let me speak on that too before Frost. I'm sure you have something to respond to that. But I feel, and I'm sure I could probably speak for Valiant here as well. Mm-hmm. I think it's important for me to talk to both of you right now since you're up and down right here in this little Brady Bunch thing we got going on. I want to thank you personally for giving Track that platform, for a UK art, such a legend to embrace what we're doing over here, to take that's a big thing. We are both for sure. We are, as an MC who's been in this game for over 20 years, beyond hip hop, and know what it's like for a US MC to do big things over in the UK and to be supported in the way that Track was. That is not to be downplayed or anything like that. And to watch what you guys have done, the product that you've put forward, the love that you guys have put into it has been inspiring to us. And, I feel like that needs to be highlighted. So thank you, and Bryan, you know what I mean, for doing that. That's some love shit.
Not only that, man, hold on real quick. I will say that too. It's also given a platform to some American producers as well. Mm-hmm. By way of everything that Track has put out, and that's overall. I mean, just for American drum and bass, that was massive. I stepped away from drum and bass for a while, and in the time that I was away, I had heard about what Track was doing a little bit, and I was like, "What? This is really what?" It was kind of mind blowing to me that would happen for an American, because I think in the heyday of American drum and bass, we had all kind of been waiting for something to pop off like that, and it never quite got there, and then 10 years later. Track comes out the box with to this day, unparalleled kind of sound. Like, he's got a groove that no other MC in the industry,
I don't even want to be in this conversation.
Yeah, you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. You sit here every week, quiet as kept. Nah, bro. You know what I mean?
The two of you here has been the driver for that, and that cannot be overstated for not only American drum bass artists, but drum bass artists like outside the UK in general. So
big up.
Yeah, we just. We just like good music, and it doesn't matter who makes it or where they come from. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We'll put someone on, you know what I mean? And
What did you think when you first heard me on the label? Here we go. Now I'm embarrassed myself for real now.
No, it was straight away. It was like, yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, yeah. Me and Bryan had a meeting about it. We spoke about it, and it was like, yeah, man. Do you know what I mean? You know, Bryan's a visionary. You know what I'm saying? He's a visionary. The guy's a visionary, man. Do you know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, if he thinks that this is gonna go, then we're gonna go with it. And he's hardly ever wrong. And he came to me with this idea, and just to run it by me to see what I thought, and we spoke about it. You didn't really need much thing, because you know your talent and everything spoke for itself, and we saw the vision. And it was nice to have like people like Random Movement and people like
everybody,
everyone involved.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, from across the board to make your album nice. Do you know what I'm saying?
And special and
nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A good representation for the music, for America, and just for drum and bass in a whole. You know what I mean?
Absolute. And I got to learn about Bryan, and I'm still learning from Bryan, if I'm honest with you guys. Like, there's something about Bryan to be said, and I don't want to embarrass him, but I can embarrass him because Frost is here, of course, but just like his ear, the way he hears things and how he needs to hear it, you could never question it. It's very rare you see that in people. You know what I mean? It's so, I think he's like one of the most, like, there should be a statue for Bryan just off of the fact of the line of music that he's like helped put out, improved, and you know, just the whole ordeal of.
Well, you got to remember, you know, it's not just drum and bass, As I said before, he was responsible for the whole thing with Moby and all that as well, and people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he's coming from a school from way before drum and bass. He's always had that ear. Do you know what I mean? So now he's conditioned with it. He knows. He trusts it. I trust it. We all trust
I trust it. I think we all trust it. I think the chat room trusts it. Yeah. Like this is a golden air. Like we have.
Drum and bass arena. Sorry.
Hey, we going subliminal jokes all night, man. It's happening. It's happening.
Oh no, shouts to Mama Juana. Mama Juana remembers taking you to the airport or something like that. He says, and y'all was just bigging me up, blah blah blah. You know, Mama Juana's cool homie as well. You know, out there dub playing himself right there. So, yeah, whatever. But
you know, one day y'all gonna accept your flowers, like
one day. I don't know what that day is, but one day. You know what I mean? One day. So, like, you know. Like just the whole ordeal with V and the 25 years, I kind of want to hear the Ronnie side stories, but I guess it's a long story. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole ordeal, how and he started with you guys, and then
well, you know, I'm gonna go back to when we had the demos, and we decided to start the label. Originally, we went to Bristol to talk to Crust. Do you know what I mean? And then, you know. Cross is like, we got some, because Cross used to be in a group called the Fresh Four, you know what I mean? So, and then Cross is like, I've got some other friends as well, you know what I mean? So we met Ronnie and Di, and then, you know, we started just loading us up with tons of music, do you know what I mean? And that's how it started, man, do you know what I mean? And it's crazy because, it's crazy because when Ronnie got his deal with Talking Loud to do the Represent album, they'd heard this record called It's a Jazz Thing, which is a record that we released. But just when we wanted to release it, Ronnie didn't want to go with it. Ronnie's like, nah, man, that's not what's. And I was like, listen, we're gonna go with this record, man. And Ronnie's like, nah, that's not what people are into. And I was like, listen, we're the ones that say what people are into. We don't follow fashions and that. We just go with our heart of what we think. And that's the record that got him the deal. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. Wow, that's crazy. That's
modern record labels. Sorry.
Well,
go with your heart.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
It's the same thing like Function by Ed Rush and Optical. I signed that record in Music House. Like, I just heard it. And I said, I'm going to sign it. I didn't need to hear it out in a club. I didn't need it to get rewinded. I just knew that was a re-record and that was it. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the time. I think that's one of the only maybe 3 times I've used my ears. Most of the time, it's always Bryan's ear. Do you know what I mean? It's always Bryan's ear. And I think that's one of the only few times when I've been like,
maybe at some point you can get Bryan on here too.
I'm sure we can do that.
We can have to team up on that one, bro.
We can team up, man. If you can keep him awake.
Right.
Yes.
Hey, man. Speaking of legacy and bloodlines and things of that nature, how do I tie all these things together? Respectfully, look, you're very vocal about the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna go where we joke about going, but you're very vocal about the Black Lives Matter movement and what it means to the culture within. It kind of ties into, I believe you came to some kind of grievances with the people who made the documentary and your inclusion. There are things coming out. I think all these things can tie together with everything everyone's doing to preserve Black excellence and make sure the Black music is being put on the proper platform. Is there anything you want to speak on that publicly?
Well, basically, we all grew up together in a system that is built on systemic racism. Holding back Black people and holding back our progression from where we're educated at school up until the manipulation of the music business that only favors one kind of set of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm very vocal about this. I don't give a fuck personally. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
I was booked. Do you know what I'm saying? I've been to prison for crimes that I didn't commit. I've been set up by the police. I've had friends die in police custody. 3 of my friends murdered by police in police custody. I'm fed up with this fucking shit. Do you know what I'm saying? I've got children walking around, and I'm scared that one day I'm going to get a call that one of them something's happened to them at the hands of the police. So, we have to do all we can to make sure that we're all dealt with equally. You know what I'm saying? That it's equal all round. Like, you got a situation here right now where Wiley has just fucking committed
he said some wild business.
He said some crazy shit. Do you know what I mean? The way they've gone after him, what he said was wrong.
Right.
Everything he said, I disagree. I totally condemn, or I condemn racism or any kind of thing on any level from anybody, whether it's against white people or Black. I condemn it. But the way they've gone after this guy is they shut him down in one day. One day they shut him down,
which was kind of shocking. Yeah.
Right, and there's other people out there saying worse things. No, not worse things. There's other people out there saying the same kind of things, right? And they're being allowed to go on for weeks before they're shut down. They should all be shut down, but treat everyone the same. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
So we got a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of work to do. You know what I mean? And we've got to have these difficult conversations.
For sure.
We have to have these to make people uncomfortable. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
And the one thing
I'm really passionate about, I've been fighting this fucking shit my whole life. You know what I mean?
Right. That's 2 things you touched on right there that I like to explain to a lot of people. That last thing is, one, people laugh at, but they think I'm joking when I say it. It's like, look, I've been Black all my life. This isn't a new movement for me. You know what I mean? It's like people just like, this isn't a hashtag. I've been this for 42 years. I've gone through this. I've been in situations. I've had to explain my situation to too many people. You get to a point where you get tired of explaining the situation. It's just like, look, like if you don't get it by now, but you have to keep going to get new people to help everyone understand. Like, if you didn't get it, maybe you were just blind. I'm starting to realize what the word privilege means without it being a derogatory statement, like, and not blaming people.
It's not a derogatory statement. It is a statement of fact.
Right. But what I'm saying is, I understand that, and we're in agreement with that. But when you speak it to someone who is going through that, they tend to take it negatively. And a lot of times, we have a tendency to clap back at that, when instead I need to understand that you just don't know. I don't blame you you for not knowing sometimes. If you're ignorant, that's a completely different conversation, and we could talk about that all day. But there's a level of privilege that people just don't know because they've never had to go through it. I've sat and had conversations with people like that who just don't get it because they've never been through it, who have literally said those words like, look, I don't understand. That has taught me to be better. And with that comes with the other part of the conversation is that this isn't a flip of the switch. The same comment we made when these riots broke out was like, let's talk to you guys in a month. Black lives still matter today, just as they did a month ago, 2 months ago when we went through all this. It's not a flip of the switch. This isn't going to happen overnight. You're not going to hashtag this into a better day. This isn't a meme. This isn't a situation. There's things we talked about our president 3 months ago that people have completely forgotten about, and we're already on to the next thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's the conversation I like to have, and that you've been harping on and haven't let off of, and I want to thank you for that. And there's a lot of people in the chat who mentioned it earlier. One of the most vocal people we know right now that's in the internet that was voicing some opinions, and I think they were needed to be heard, especially at a time when I guess we had to turn those corners, and now we have all these ideas on the table. And now we have what might be possible change. And now, this is I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's just frauds. I'm not saying we needed frauds and only frauds. I'm saying, the voices that were the loudest helped turn the corner for everybody else to understand and get into those corners where these conversations are much more had and much more, positive. Yeah, and we need to have unfiltered ones too. I think that's the most important part. It was like, there's no sugarcoating this or trying to make you feel better about the way we feel. Like, this is it. Right. We're all done. Enough is enough. Fatigue, let's go with the rope, and here we are. So we're not going to talk about it nicely anymore. That's the whole thing.
That's what's behind a lot of these people who are for some reason, so adamantly opposed to politics or. It's not. By the way, it's not even politics. It's human rights. Being involved in music, as if you have never heard music before. But these things are happening within the music industry. We've talked about it a bunch. I don't mind saying it because I feel like I don't really have skin in the game that's going to have negative consequences for me. But that's what that drum bass arena documentary hinged on. The fact that people were getting overlooked. That's what the recent kerfuffle over certain artist names has been about. So a lot of things have been about lately, and they're all interconnected, even though they seem like they're minor issues compared to like what is happening in the bigger picture, and they are. But they're all like symptomatic of the same kind of things that are going on, and that's another thing too. I want the whole white privilege thing. Unfortunately I have people close to me who don't believe in that kind of thing, which kind of blows my mind. And when they say something like, well, no, I've never had to go through that before, that is literally. What privilege is. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you have it, that people have,
privilege doesn't mean you're a racist.
They want us to package it.
That's the thing.
It also doesn't mean that you don't go through hard times, like as a white person. Of course you do. Right. It's just that you also don't have to go through this hard time that somebody who has brown skin might have to go through. Yeah. It boggles my mind to a degree. I've actually had to, strangely enough, I've actually blocked several people who were following me this week that sent me messages because I keep on posting in my stories like every single day, probably about a dozen different things that I think people should see. I think, and it has nothing to do with music. And people have said maybe you'd have more followers if you just stuck to music. And
because that's what this is about.
It just boggles my mind. I'm like, first of all, why are you following me? I've been posting shit like this for the longest time, but it boggles my mind, and I don't understand why people are involved in this kind of music if that's the way they think. But anyway, I'm spouting off the top of my head right now.
I think I'm thinking about it now as we enter into like a 5th month. It is the answer to all of this. Everything right now, and don't laugh at me, guys.
Oh, we're gonna.
Is to go outside. Like, the honest truth is that we all need to get over this situation and get back to our normal lives so we can have things in swing and people can be more concentrated on whatever their goals are versus this. Yes, we're going to go out different now because certain people now have to understand that, oh, maybe I was a little bit, racist or a little bit too much in the way I didn't take, but now I have a little bit of a conscience about it. but at least I can go back and make money to support myself. Like I said, we're 5 months in America pretty much, and mental issues are starting to brim a little bit. You know what I mean?
Oh, they have. I've already lost a friend to suicide because of all
We're looking at the UK and Europe, like their grass is way greener than ours. And how do we get our grass that green? You know what I'm saying? So like there's these little issues to manage in between, but the quicker we get past these things, I think it's easier to fix these problems as well if we start getting back out and moving around and things of that nature. I mean, we're not going to.
How do you feel about that, Frost? I have my opinion on that thought. But...
I don't know. I think that this whole lockdown situation, and it's fucked with a lot of people's mental health. You know.
Yeah. Yes. 1,000%.
Big time.
Seriously, and some of the actions from some people you have to kind of understand with them a little bit because it's tough. It really is tough. There are some situations that may not have happened if we wasn't so fucking fucked up with this lockdown stuff and with our futures are uncertain. We're all unemployed at the moment. Yeah, we don't know when we're going back to work.
Right.
Yeah, I saw the Malta issue too. You know I saw the Malta article.
Yeah, we don't know when we're going back to work, and it's like you got to be really tough right now. And even for the most tough of us, it's uncertain. Do you know what I'm saying? So every day you just have to take it as another day and just give thanks that we're still here because, there are people out there right now that are not coping. That's not coping, man. As you said, Valiant, your homie committed suicide, man. Do you know what I mean? I know someone who committed suicide like last week. Do you know what I'm saying? A friend of mine, and that's been tough to deal with as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Ooh.
And all it takes is one small thing, and it can send you over the edge because of this combination of all these different incidents of where we're at right now. It's tough. So my heart goes out to everyone. Sorry, my heart goes out to everyone who's really struggling right now with stuff because we have to try to be a little bit of understanding of what people are going through. You know what I mean? And people getting called out for stuff right now, and some things that are a bit tough. Do you know what I mean? You got like DJs being asked to change their names and stuff.
Oh God.
So we're gonna talk about it.
Let's just talk about it. Let's stop.
I guess we're gonna do it.
Oh God, why not?
Let's get into it because I'm getting. Listen, guys, my eyes are getting greedy.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that before I leave.
And I got a tune to play too, but we can play it after you bounce.
Yeah. I'm staying for the tune because I need to talk you through it.
Okay.
real quick. We also mentioned that what is the real problem in that situation stems from something else. Are we all in agreement in that?
We all agree with that. We all agree with that. Ryan agrees too.
All right.
He kind of agrees.
I think.
Hey, one minute. I'm just going to get my joint. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Carry on.
No problem. All right. So look, let's just go through. Let's just do it like this. I'm not going to take long. I'm just going to say what I believe, and I'll just say off the top, I think it's overblown. Honestly, I'm not dismissing the fact. I'm not dismissing flight. I'm saying what the way and the levels of what happened didn't need to be there, and the fix was literally simple. But because of how it was handled, we are now into a tumbleweed of issues that are now slowly stopping because even as the statement was made that, I'm going to change my name, people are still bitter about the situation.
Okay, so here's where I'm going to interject real quick. Here's the deal. I understand both of their sides, and for anyone who doesn't understand both of their sides, just relax a little bit and try to gain some perspective. Okay,
right.
Flight is a legend.
Yes,
point blank. Period.
Absolute.
Nothing will ever take that from her.
You cannot replace Flight.
You also have to realize that yes, having the same name could cause difficulties. They can both coincide, but they could cause difficulties. She is a legend. There's a definite gripe there that is understood. 2, Flight. The meaning of his name, it's been around for 10 years. Like, there's so much that went into it. Could he have changed it earlier? Yes, probably.
Yes.
But at the same time, was he being malicious? The answer is no. So here's my beef, right? This thing was blown out of proportion, but not by the two individuals that had the issue. I'm disappointed by the DMB community as a whole for choosing sides and in blowing it into a thing that was detrimental to our scene as a whole. So I'm more mad at the community than I am the situation itself. And the reason why that's happening is because of things we already spoke about. It's technically not even about those two names. We've attached other gripes to these two names, and that wasn't fair to either individual.
Absolutely.
And both sides are wrong, because you had people that are attacking Flight, saying that she's an old person and we're not connected and da-da-da-da-da, which is against
she was
everything.
getting death threats as well. So
death threats, all kinds of shit that
didn't make any sense.
That
didn't
is
make any sense.
Wild, and I cannot be more angry at
Justin
the
did
community
too.
for this. Justin did too. I'm also mad at the people that turned around and yelled at Flight and called him a racist or a sexist, and all that shit is bullshit.
Or how he was faking it, or whatever
personally.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we took this and blew it way out of proportion, that was detrimental to two people's lives, fuck careers, lives. You're playing with people's lives, okay? That shit was not cool, and we as a community need to do better. Old blood, new blood, doesn't matter.
And let's be honest, the only reason why we even bringing this up is because the younger Flight was coming up, making moves, making strides, has been going back and forth and traveling and all this thing, and everything was cool until one day. And not to say that it shouldn't have not been a question mark in the sky. It's more of, this, let's be, this has been talked about prior to this, right? There's been quiet chit chats about this couple in. So there's a lot to tell a person who live off of a name and a brand to, you got to change your name. And the man's like, but I'm just 10 years strong at best at this.
Before Valiant goes in, because I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
All I have to say is, while it was talked about prior and he could have changed his name, it was still an overreaction. And even while he was trying to work things out behind closed doors, as he should have. Period. Look, guys, not everything needs. If you think that Twitter is civil discourse, you're all out of your mind. Okay, if you think I'm gonna settle things with Twitter, you're out of your mind. I'm gonna tell you right now, I do a lot of things. When things pop up on Twitter, I ignore y'all and I go talk to the person directly. Okay, a lot of conversations we're having behind closed doors while you were calling him a racist.
Yeah.
So
I personally spoke to Justin. I think he's a good kid. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I've never met him personally, but we talk online, and we have been doing for a while.
Very
you know
good.
What I'm saying? So I spoke to him during all this, inboxed him, and we both spoke. And I done a tweet as well, just my tweet was like, listen, Flight is foundation, but the kid just didn't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just didn't know.
Absolutely.
And he's not a racist or anything like that. And it was disappointing to see the reaction from the community. Do you know what I'm saying? And I spoke to him and I said to him, like, I know you're not a racist, and do you know what I'm saying? And do you know what I mean? He thanked me for my support. And I'm just glad to see that they're both speaking privately, which it should have been handled in a more private way. But as you say, it was taken out of context by these keyboard warriors that made it so
found their moment of truth.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even Flight that brought it up on Twitter. It was Mantra.
Right.
And by the way, that's not the fault Mantra, because I had a very valid point.
She did.
And all right, so
go ahead,
Justin has known for years that this was going to be an issue for years. And by the way, and again, it's not a malicious thing. Being in different realms of drum bass, having a different spelling, being in different country, the idea that you could coexist with that is not without precedent. But I do think he did the right thing by agreeing to change his name. Honestly, I think it probably should have happened a long time ago. You're just going to run into problems if your name is phonetically the same as another person's name in the same genre of music. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
My big takeaway, there's a couple things. First of all, Chris in Perspective posted a great little reaction to this. Made lots of sense.
All right.
Talked about both sides of the issue. And I talked about how, obviously, just like you guys have said, that the community was the bigger problem. I feel that some of the biggest problems came from the people who came out in support of Justin Flight. Especially, I'm not, a particular producer who gets a lot of fucking listens on Spotify, and he releases on Monster Cat, and that's all I'm going to say about him. But he came out constantly. I mean, I'm talking several dozen tweets about how Flight is slandering him. So literally, it's not slander. It's literally not taking everything, the 3 or 4 tweets that she said completely out of context, and making it out to be this thing. I don't like how people did not appreciate the fact that, yes, gender and race at some point are going to come to the discussion, at least for a little bit, because you have to remember, this is a fight that DJ Flight has been fighting kind of her whole career for representation,
absolutely,
things like that. She's fighting to cement her legacy.
Absolutely.
So when you see things through that prism and you vent 1 or 2 emotions about it, and then you get death threats or get called a cunt or a retard. I counted 4 cunts and 3 retards on Twitter about it. And I was like, I can't believe this is even happening.
Totally.
So I feel like, yes, Twitter is bad for your mental health. I'm glad I went on there for 2 days because of it, and I got off. I'm so glad that I did.
You did get on at the worst time possible.
I know. I know. Anyway, I do think that Justin is doing the right thing. I think his career is in a fantastic position to be able to handle a rebrand.
Absolutely.
He has the platform now to have an announcement of a name.
And he's a really smart dude who knows how to handle it.
Exactly. His marketing and business acumen
that's helped others.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's not
now, there's a lot of people who are like, well, it's hard to handle a rebrand and blah, blah, blah. He shouldn't have to and blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing. First of all, I believe that Justin is doing this for the right reasons. Okay. Mm-hmm. I do believe that he respects DJ Flight a lot. He's a super smart and super nice guy. But at the same time, there are really valid business reasons for him to do so. I mean, you got to remember, if he didn't change his name, you risk alienating a big part of the drum and bass community going forward. And that's going to be a mistake. And so there's all the reasons for him to change his name just happen to line up perfectly. And I think this is one of those things that people do need to recognize, that there are going to be concerns that you might not think about. Like, you might not think about race and gender and how they intersect with music. You might not. And you might think that it shouldn't be talked about, but it might, because some people do care about it. And I just think that Twitter is a prime example of the fact that you only have this tiny little reaction window.
Right.
A certain amount of characters.
I also think
it's deeper than that, in my opinion. But
I also think it's the benefit of the time. Like, the benefit of the time of what's going on all played a part in the situation at hand. Because, like I said, I'm coming from a hip hop perspective. You guys, if anybody's been to my Facebook page, you saw me talk about the Biggie Smalls and how they were 2 Biggie Smalls, and the whole Roxanne. There's like 1 trillion Roxannes who all have songs called I'm Roxanne pretty much at this point. You know what I mean? So it's not like this is something new. No, we were talking about the concrete jungles and the concrete,
Yo, don't get it twisted, bro. Like, I've said to you guys many a times. It's like, I definitely don't put any. I've done it. I've had people who come at my name and I'm like, use Google. Right. It's not that hard. If you type Armani Rain, it's going to pop up. So, and I don't care. Mason is a drum bass producer. I've worked with Gasm for Life. There is a house band that is ginormous right now. You know what I mean? They are named Mason, and that was a rough thing for him to deal with. I've addressed people about similar logos until I changed my logos. We're actually friends now, which is funny, but you know what I mean? But it's not a crazy argument. You know what I mean? It's not for all those people out there who are artists, like, don't front. If somebody said whoever you are, they're going to take your name, you'd have something to say about it. So, like, that part of it is whatever. Like, I get it 1,000%. I just think it could have been handled right, and I think the community was showing its face for something we have a bigger problem with, not just with racism, not just with sexism, but mob mentality as a whole. I think kind of took over. I think this virtual signaling or everyone trying to be a hero and ended up being mean is not right. Like, you just end up being just as evil as the person you're mad at. Like, everything's wrong, and I don't agree with that. And that's all I really want to address in this situation is, like, we need to be better.
You summed it up well.
Yeah, like, we need to be better as people to help them to get through it. Like, if you understand both sides, then let's have that conversation. It doesn't have to jump to she's a fucking idiot old head who doesn't get it. Like, whoa, like where did that even come from? I'm not gonna go worse than that. I'm just saying. I'm like, why do we even have to go there? Why does Justin have to be a racist who doesn't give a shit about women? Just like, whoa, like, calm down. like people let's have the convo.
But
people comment here, they don't even know these people.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've known Natalie for a long time. Jesus, years. Over 25 years. Do you know what I'm saying? She's a sweet girl, super smart, works hard, very respectful of the craft.
Absolutely. You know
and I think she's handled herself with dignity. Do you know what I'm saying? In the face of terrible abuse. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely disgusting. Justin also handled. I read the statement that he got a taste, man. He got a taste of what was, how crazy it is out there.
And he defended
too. Realization there.
I think that the statement that he released was it was super classy. He handled it with class and dignity, and both of them, in the face of real abuse, handled themselves really well. But I do wish that it was handled more behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And as Valiant said, maybe he could have thought about dealing with this a long time ago.
Right.
But it's come to a head, and it had to be dealt with. But it's just a shame that the keyboard warriors
took over. Also,
don't give a fuck. They just want to say some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty much. But I wanted to add that when you have a momentum built and you have all the success going and you have all these things working for you, the last thing on your mind is who else is my name right now. Not to say it in such a way, but again, he comes like his entrance level is Pendulum. You know what I'm saying? He obviously doesn't know anything too much before Pendulum. So it's like, all right, so now he's put onto it. And people are coming at him. I know my home shouts to DC again. Cats when he was out there, it was like, yo, so there's like a legendary flight, and they had a conversation. So he's been hearing it a lot over the years, within the last 3 years, I'd say, right? So, eventually you now have to come to the conclusion of like, all right, so there's another flight. It's even though we're spelled different, should I make this? You know what I mean? How do I handle the situation? How? I just sold another hot record. I just got a record signed to Hospital. I got another record signed to Liquid City. I'm known as this dude. I'm getting tours as this name, as a young dude. And the young community knows who he is too as well. So it's all these things to weigh out, but there still should have been a quiet conversation that should have just been between them. And that's, if anybody should be mad about anything, is about that. Because once you know, and everybody's telling you, then all right,
he should have changed.
Maybe right.
Sure,
but that's
1000%.
But that's it. In hip hop, there's dudes that would tell everybody to go do something with themselves.
That's
because
too much.
Me. You know what I mean? Much. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
And half y'all ain't finna do shit. So
absolutely
talking like that.
Yeah, absolutely salute respect to a general, and salute respect to the cat that's coming up doing this thing right now. And I'm happy at the solution and how it was handled. And it's important for everybody to see this, especially now. And that's what I'm more happy about.
We can move forward, for sure.
We make it move forward. For
all
sure.
right. So now we did that. You're all happy?
We let it out.
Let's get him out of here. Hey, you do got one more super secret joint that you need to talk over, correct? And make sure we talk over as well.
Yeah. What, we're going to intro the track, yeah?
Yeah, what's this one you sent me? Cause
this is brand new from Elside, featuring the legendary MCGQ.
Legend!
It's
I know it.
And this is going to blow.
Yeah,
I know it. This is hard.
What's it called?
Zaga Zaga Zang.
A few moments later.
There we go. All right.
Wow, that shit is wildfire, bro.
Special.
Wildfire.
Special.
Yeah, that tune is well.
We're shooting a video and stuff, like a little mini video and stuff for that. So keep your eyes peeled for that, man.
Woo! Like
Elside is a killer.
All-time favorite for all of us here. So to hear that, we know what that can do at a big room.
Right across the board.
Oh my God!
Yeah, for sure.
Smash down.
I love GQ, man.
Carnage on the dance floor.
That dude is like beyond legend just as a person.
Yeah,
man. Straight across the board. You know what I mean?
Straight across the board.
Always, forever. I remember not the first time. I remember the one time he invited me on stage with Andy, and one of the first times they like put me on the thing, and I did the whole same shit I said to you earlier. I was like, yeah, no, I mean, whatever. And he literally grabbed me by my arm, pulled me off stage, and was like, when I fucking tell you to get on the mic, I'm telling you to get on the mic. Fuck all that politics shit. I was like, all right, bro. I said it's cool. It's cool. I'm like, all right, bro. We good.
I'm just going to say it again, man. MCGQ, head to toe, red Tommy Hilfiger. That's all.
Oh man, Toronto style. He was on the Toronto thing right there.
He coming for you, bro. I'm telling you.
I'm saying that's like a testament to his legend. Are you kidding me? I don't know about you guys, but most MCs that started out in the '90s, like I did, was emulating GQ for at least one show.
Absolutely.
At least one. So
he's the voice. He's the voice.
Definitely.
Anyway, Frost, man. I know it's super late for you, man.
Yeah, man.
I can't.
I'm like this now.
Yeah. I don't think that has anything to do with the time, but whatever.
I've been hitting that push.
A little bit. But Joe, my brother, I super appreciate you coming on, man.
I appreciate you guys, man.
Much love, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Just give love to the missus behind you who's also been soldiering out behind you. Understand? And yeah, man, stay blessed. And we're going to link up for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yes, man.
Peace, guys, yeah. I'll see you guys.
Yes, man.
Everyone, I love you all.
Yeah.
God bless you all, man.
The chat's going
too,
crazy.
buddy.
Say
You
goodbye, chat. Big up, Frosty. I appreciate you, brother.
Big bro.
Love
Big
you.
up.
Let's talk tomorrow. Sheesh. Yeah,
so,
man.
man. We are. You just got, everybody's
There
it's
it goes.
hard to find
That awkward
a
moment
on
when
the
y'all
side.
there.
You know what I mean? It's hard to find that sometimes. You got to take the time.
Jumpin' Jack Frost. No, that was really cool, man. I kind of was fanboy now a little bit.
Yeah, I was letting y'all go ahead. I was like,
I can't help it.
And we had to give Track his flowers and put him on the spot and shit.
I was.
Yes, indeed. I
was.
You're as bad as I am.
I'm spoiled because I get to talk to these guys all the time. You know what I mean? So for me, it was like, yeah. But I can't front when you're like in the conversation and you realize.
Anyway, thank you everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all for coming through. Every single week you guys are here. I appreciate all the new people. It's been an absolute blessing every single time. We thank y'all for being here. This is great for us. I hope it's great for y'all, and we hope to see y'all next time. I will announce our next guest.
Yeah,
Sunday.
You'll love it.
You're gonna love it. Absolutely, it's gonna be good.
Sunday, it's gonna be a fun one. So I appreciate y'all. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Make sure you are staying up on your mental health. If you cannot do it yourself, then please reach out to somebody. Fuck it, DM me if you need to.
Any of us as well. Yep, for sure.
No, just me. And then no. I super love y'all. My name is MC Armani Rain. That is the T.R.A.C. The Mr. Valiant. It's been Roti and Poutine. I fuck with y'all heavy. Thank you so much. Be blessed.